Global instability and long-standing domestic problems are depriving Germany of its status as an industrial superpower. Competition from the United States and China, as well as a cutoff in Russian gas supplies, threaten to derail the German economy. Political paralysis grips Berlin, and the energy crisis proves to be the final blow for more and more producers. Last fall, in a huge production workshop, to the dull sounds of a French horn, the final act of the history of a plant that had operated for more than 100 years was played out. In the flickering light of torches and lanterns, many of the 1,600 people who were losing their jobs stood stone-faced as the glowing metal of the plant's latest product, a cylindrical steel pipe, was smoothed to perfection on a rolling mill. This ceremony marked the end of a 124-year journey that began in the golden years of German industrialization, continued even during 2 world wars, but which failed to survive the consequences of the energy crisis. Similar finals have been seen across the country over the past year, highlighting the painful reality Germany faces. Its days as an industrial superpower may well be coming to an end. Industrial output in Europe's largest economy has been on a downward trend since 2017, with the decline accelerating as its competitiveness weakens. To be honest, there is not much hope, said Stefan Klebert, chief executive of German industrial corporation GA Group. I'm really not sure we can stop this trend. Many things will have to change very quickly. The pillars of Germany's industrial machine fell like dominoes. The United States is moving away from Europe and seeking to compete with its transatlantic allies for climate investments. China is becoming an increasingly stronger competitor and is gradually ceasing to be a voracious buyer of German goods. And the final blow for many heavy industry enterprises was the cessation of supplies of cheap Russian gas. Along with global instability, political paralysis in Berlin is exacerbating long-standing domestic problems such as crumbling infrastructure, an aging workforce, and bureaucratic obstacles. The education system, once Germany's strength, has now become a symbol of long-term lack of investment in public services. The IFO Research Institute estimates that by the end of the century, declining levels of math skills will cost the economy around 14 trillion euros. In some cases, industrial decline occurs in small steps, taking the form of curtailing expansion and investment plans. In other cases, the changes are much more noticeable when production lines have to be moved and staff numbers have to be reduced. And in some cases, as happened with the Vallourec Saka pipe rolling plant, which was once part of the collapsed industrial giant Mannesmann, everything turns into a permanent closure of the enterprises. The shock was incredible, said Wolfgang Freitag, who has worked at the plant since he was a teenager. Now the 59-year-old's job is to dismantle equipment for sale and help his old colleagues find new jobs. Germany still has many small, vibrant manufacturers, so the Bundesbank and many officials are brushing off warnings of impending full-scale deindustrialization. However, with reforms stalled, it is unclear what exactly will slow the decline. We are no longer competitive, Finance Minister Christian Lindner said in early February. We are getting poorer because we have no economic growth. We are falling behind. In mid-November, Chancellor Olaf Scholz's already fractious coalition was further thrown into disarray by a budget crisis that erupted after a court ruling on how to spend borrowed money left the government with little room to invest. You don't have to be a pessimist to say that what we are doing at the moment will not be enough, said Volker Trier, head of the Foreign Trade Department of the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The speed of structural change is dizzying. Discontent and disappointment are felt everywhere. While hundreds of thousands of people have taken to the streets in recent weeks to protest against far-right extremism, polling data shows the anti-immigration Alternative for Germany party ahead of all 3 ruling parties, behind only the conservative bloc. The alliance led by Scholz's Social Democrats enjoys the support of just 34% of voters, according to an analysis of recent polls by Spiegel magazine.